welcome into the latest edition of the SAU Football Coaches Show. I'm Daniel Gallegos, joined alongside head football coach Bill Keopple. And Coach, second week of the season is here upon us. But we'll go ahead and we'll talk a little bit about the first week. Obviously, a lot of excitement and emotion both tied into that first week, with it being Family Day with on-campus activities. A lot of excitement and activity on campus that day, but then also, obviously the first game since the passing of Brandon Howdy, I think, was weighing on everybody's hearts and minds. So all that going into that first game, and then all of a sudden, a couple hours before the first game, Mother Nature decides to kind of throw a little wrench in it. Had a 2-hour lightning delay. What did you tell your players during that delay to kind of get them to, a sport like football, you get really amped up and can get really charged, but having to tell them, hey, you're going to have to wait a little bit, not knowing how long that was going to be?
Well, really, there's nothing you can tell them. I mean, there's no there's no good answer for that. There really isn't. I mean, we're all charged up, coaches, players, everybody. I mean, we're all nervous. From a coach's standpoint, probably more nervous than the players were going into the first game. All the little things that you never know how it's going to go down. And it was a tough evening. It really was. We know we have had real tough battles with Southeastern ever since we started playing them. So there was nothing easy about the first football game. I mean, like you say, I went Friday night to Brandon's visitation down there and have to sit down and visit with his family and talk with them. That was tough. To see Brandon was tough. But there's no good answer for that. I mean, a guy that we as a team loved and respected, a young man that was going to get a college degree from Southern Arkansas, no doubt about it. Just tragedy beyond belief, and something that will be with every member of our football team for the rest of their life. And so those are things that you're trying to deal with and work through your mind. The one thing that gave me peace leaving that evening is his older brother came up to me, and the last thing he told me, "Hey, Coach, go get a win." And that's all we had on our mind, is trying to win a football game at that point. And I hated that the funeral was the day of our first game, but it's just the way it worked out. And going as far as the game was concerned, it was an unbelievable evening. I mean, I've never experienced anything like it. I mean, the 2 lightning delays. We actually got up one time, got our pads on, we're walking out the door, and they sent us back inside. And you look outside, it's not raining, and you hear some rumbling off in the distance and this and that, and then they send us out there and it's pouring down raining. And there was a couple times we had some lightning close enough by that the crowd made some noises, some woos over. So what are we doing here? So I was really confused on that, and we were playing through the rain, and it cost us early. I mean, we got in the red zone early, and we have a couple times chances to punch it in, and we ended up fumbling the football to them, and we got down there again and threw an interception in the end zone. So that really, I thought, set us back. A situation where we could have jumped out on them early might have changed the whole idea, whole course of the football game. Now, granted, in their defense, Coach Atterbury, I think, has done a really good job with his football team, and they have an excellent running back. I mean, the kid's big time. He has torched us 2 years in a row, and so I don't have to think about him for another year, which is good. But I tell you, from a football standpoint, our team, I was very impressed with our football team in a lot of ways. I mean, anybody that saw the football game, watched our 3 running backs carry the football Saturday, you had to be impressed. I thought defensively we did a lot of good things. Outside of letting him get out on some broken tackles, and but overall, I was very pleased with our football game. I thought our kicking game was solid. Made a nice field goal. Did get an extra point block. We got to shore that up. But it was just typical first game stuff. Some simple little mistakes that can be very corrected. The upside for our football team, though, is very good. Very good.
In that game, I think one of the things that maybe stood out was the success in rushing the football. Your team collectively, you mentioned the 3 guys, and we even throw in Cy Blackshire from the quarterback spot. So you had 4 guys combined to rush for over 350 yards. Obviously, with the wet conditions to start off with, that may have altered some plans if maybe you had more of a passing attack with that. But you have some confidence in your running backs. So was that a surprise to see what they did as far as the production, or was it pretty much kind of what you expected to maybe get out of them?
Well, you went in, you really didn't expect it because, I mean, it's still first game. We didn't know what to expect, how they were going to react. but that's the expectation I did have in my mind going into the season for our running backs to run like that. And 3 guys, they can keep each other fresh. They can go in there and be 100 miles an hour, and that's huge. And we got a good offensive line in front of them. And you know, the biggest concern I had going into the first ball game was our passing game. I mean, you know, Cy has not been in that. Cy is going to get better and better by each week, the more game experience he gets. The thing that he did was strike some fear into the rest of our league that we don't contain this guy. He's coming out, and that's scary, because I've been on that side of the football as a defensive line coach, and when a quarterback can run like he can and throw like he can, boy, that's a scary combination with the running backs. You know, we got receivers we feel confident in. We just got to shore some things up in our passing game. Cy was so amped up Saturday night, he was throwing missiles, and some of those missiles were hard to catch. I mean, you'd play it back in slow motion on the film, and you couldn't see the ball. It was going that hard. So we got to get him a little calmer. His ability to escape is great for us. Get our passing game going. Even though we threw for over 200 yards, there's still a lot more in our passing game there. We had close to 600 yards total offense. That's a big night offensively. That's what was so strange about it, getting down to where we got a score on the last play of the game to win a football game. When you have almost 600 yards of offense, it's almost unheard of. So that part of it was strange. I think defensively we're just going to continue to get better and better. I really do. I mean, I really like our linebackers right now, our defensive line. We're very solid in the middle, and we got some talented young players on the edge. And our secondary is a bunch of veterans. You know, bottom line in their defense, especially from the secondary, is you don't get a lot of live tackling in fall camp. I mean, I don't want them tackling our running backs on a daily basis, so they don't ever get a tackle, you know, very rarely a live moving body at that speed. And that guy from Southeast can run. And so they'll get better and better with that. And so I feel very confident in our team's going to continue to progress. I think our upside is unlimited as to what we can do with this football team if our team keeps the same, a very positive mindset and keeps working hard.
Take us through those last moments of the game. Under 6 minutes left, your team is driving. There's a pretty crucial penalty that goes against us on what would have been a first down. Pretty much stalls out that drive.
Right.
You go with the decision to punt the ball away, having trust in that defense. Southeastern goes on a drive, and they get to a point where they convert on a big 3rd down. Time's still dwindling off the clock, knowing that if they get one more first down, the game's likely over because you know, lack of timeouts, so forth. But talk us through that, the series of events to where you mentioned the running back just basically mishandles the handoff, get the ball back with a little over a minute and a half left, and everything that transpired after that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, you need a little luck, and obviously we got some there at the end of that football game. But it, you know, it was a situation where we felt like we had to punt the ball away to them, and then you know, just hope our defense could step up and make a play and stop them and give us another shot. You know, we were running out of time. We were going to have to burn all of our timeouts if they'd have gotten a first down there, and it was getting close. I mean, we were fixing to call a timeout right after that play, and the ball came out. And you know, that's what defenses are supposed to do. They're supposed to go stop the opponent. They're supposed to get turnovers and takeaways, and our defense really stepped it up in a big time that we needed it. And so that speaks very highly of what we have the capability to do. I mean, you know, our football team was put in a situation and we never gave up. That's the beauty of it. And I know here in the recent past that would have not been the case. You know, you think, well, God, Coach, y'all were so lucky. I mean, in reality, we haven't had a lot of the ability in our first 3 years here to have luck, because we weren't good enough to make it happen. We were good enough Saturday night to make ourselves have some luck with getting a fumble in the last play of the game. I mean, we didn't have those capabilities. You make your own luck in football, and we were able to do that Saturday night. So that really tells me a lot about the upside of our football team.
What do you know about East Central going into this upcoming week? They were in a battle with Arkansas Monticello. They were trailing in the 4th quarter, score a couple late touchdowns to come back and beat them. So just kind of looking at that, what do you anticipate out of this matchup with East Central?
Well, you know, they had some luck themselves right there at the end of the game. UAM threw one to the end zone, hit the receiver right in the hands, and all of a sudden East Central player comes up with a ball, or it's UAM win. And but you know, you look at the history of teams going into Monticello, even back when we were in the Gulf South. I mean, a Valdosta team going in there and UAM beating them when they had no business doing it. So it's a tough trip. It's a tough trip to get into Monticello, nowhere to stay close. So you got to travel in that day. It's just like us going up to Northwest. And but you know, they were that team. They were kind of like us Saturday. They were good enough to battle and keep battling as a football team, which speaks volumes for their football team too, and get a win on the road, which is tough. I mean, it's going to be hard for us to go to Ada against a tough football team. We're going to have to really be focused as a football team, and they're very talented. I mean, their quarterback Bond is really had a great year last year statistically, and as the year went on, he was very, very productive for them. They're big, they're physical, they're a good-looking team. They had the outstanding defensive lineman, defensive player of the week in our league. With their defensive end, they're getting 3 sacks against UAM, so they're a very formidable opponent. We're on the road, we're in their backyard. Our football team's going to have to be prime and ready and really totally focused and doing their job to get us a win Saturday.
We appreciate it very much for your time again. That's head football coach Bill Keopple. Mule Riders 1-0 on the season. Go to Ada, Oklahoma to take on East Central again on the road. 6 o'clock p.m. the kickoff time. Be sure to check MuleRiderAthletics.com for all the live links, live video, live audio, and everything associated with that game, pre and post game coverage. Coach, we appreciate it and good luck.
Yeah, tell them to they might need to bring a coat Saturday because it's going to be cold up there.
It'll be a little cooler, so hopefully not as wet either. So again, Coach, we appreciate it.
All right, thank you.